been a minute. How are you guys doing? Get you a cozy drink, maybe some tea. I have hot cocoa with me. I also have some water. And in case I get hungry, some orange slices. So cozy up. This will not be a long video. Whoa, you're dirty, glasses. But I wanted to talk about a post that I tried to post yesterday, but it did not upload. And it took a lot of time to write it out. It's one of those where you just don't save the information and then you essentially have to start all over. So I figured, why not do a little video? Because I got to act yesterday on an idea that I've had a few times over the past few years. And it's just really fun for me while I'm learning and processing a lot to get artistic and creative. So I have rediscovered my love for watercoloring, and yesterday I made a little sun card. This is the symbol of the sun. It's not a boob. This is the sun symbol that you would read if you were reading your own chart or reading a chart for someone in astrology. And I wanted to talk about Pallas Athena. So the reason why I brought this up yesterday is because both of them happen to be conjunct in the sky, and I'm putting the visual here so you guys can all see it. And right now we do still have the conjunction of the Sun and Palace Athena. We actually have a stellium in Aquarius that is going to be going on definitely for the next day as we go into this new moon for Aquarius. And a stellium is when you have 3 or more planetary bodies in one sign conjunct one another. A conjunction, similar to that Schoolhouse Rock song that a lot of us grew up with in school. Conjunction, junction, what's your function? Hooking up words and phrases and clauses. And says, I don't actually remember, but I remember what conjunction means because it's used in astrology all the time. And it's when something is literally sitting right next to or on top of one another, when we're referring to planetary bodies. So we actually do have a conjunction between the Sun and Pallas Athena. What does that mean? Well, I looked it up because I was really interested when I was reading my chart yesterday and seeing that these two were together. And a lot of people in astrology, or those who are learning more about it, tend to know about the sun, right? Like whatever you say your sign is, it's wherever the sun was moving through, whatever constellation the sun happened to be moving through, well, that's your sign. But it's just your sun sign. You also have a moon sign, Venus, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, so many planets, but also planetary bodies and asteroids. And this past year, I have been learning a lot about the asteroids. And the asteroids bring in a very large divine feminine influence. The asteroids, most of them are goddesses. A lot of them are also centaurs. So Chiron is the most well-known asteroid, and it's a centaur. And it is, well, the mythology is Chiron the centaur and the story behind how he's the wounded healer. So each one of these planetary bodies has Greek and Roman mythology behind it, and I'm a mythology nerd. I didn't get too deep into that rabbit hole growing up, but I'm really, really enjoying learning more about mythology as I study more about astrology. All right, so the point being that today and tomorrow, and actually right now, the moon is also in Aquarius. We have a ton of bodies. You can see it here, right? We have a ton of bodies Let me just pull up my chart so I can look at it while you guys are seeing it too. So you can see this huge like train of planets or symbols representing each of the planets in Aquarius. And right now, literally while I'm recording this, we have the moon sign, or the moon is in Aquarius at 12 degrees. It's conjunct Jupiter in 12 degrees, and it's conjunct Venus in 11 degrees. So in the next, really today through this weekend, Valentine's Day weekend, a lot of expansion of love, expansion of beauty, expansion of the things that you really value and appreciate in life. They'll really get a lot of illuminating because they're in conjunction with one another. And when planetary bodies are in conjunction with one another, they basically exacerbate, they accentuate their qualities and merge them together. So right now we have the moon conjunct Jupiter and Venus, which is bringing a lot of emotional feelings into love life. So you might really be thinking about your love life right now, what's going on in it, whether it's good or kind of it's probably on your mind, most everyone right now. And that isn't just because Valentine's Day is coming up. It's literally the what we call neutrinos, which are little tiny particles that it's science. You can look it up. I'm not the best at explaining these things, but neutrinos are literally bits and particles of the stars, and they're in us. And so we have this connection where we can pick up on this information, and that's what astrology is, really. And I don't think that astrology is black and white. I think that we have free will here on this planet, and looking into what's happening with the celestial bodies around us can help us. It's like predicting the weather, like a weather forecast. No one gets really upset if the weather forecast ends up being a little bit different than what was predicted. It's still there as a tool for us to prepare. Okay, so same thing, like it doesn't mean that love is on your mind today, but it could be. Comment, let me know if it is. But we have this conjunction between the Sun and Palace Athena. And what it means is that there's this illumination of our divine, inner, warrior goddess. Pallas Athena was born in full war garb. That's why her symbol here is a spear. And so when the sun is conjunct Athena in the sky, it gives us all a little bit more attention, awareness, illumination around what is the cause that we stand for? What is something that's so important to us as our personal mission that we want to illuminate in the world? Do you have a cause? Do you have a mission? Right now they're conjunct in Aquarius. So Aquarius energy is very forward-thinking, progressive, communication, technology, invention. People with a strong Aquarius signature in their chart will be, unique and quirky, yes, but pretty profound thinkers, outside of the box thinking. They're here to shake things up and break out of the structures that Capricorn, the sign before it, has, really thrived in, as a way to allow for evolution, for revolution, and movement forward in a new way that benefits the entire group. So environmentalists, there's so many causes that have come up in 2020 that are perfect causes to stand behind and illuminate. Black Lives Matter, everything going on with children and sex trafficking, the Me Too movement, all of the injustice, inequality, all of the ways that we've been oppressed or shut down by things that seem out of our control. Well, this moon conjunct Athena is here. Well, moon conjunct sun conjunct Athena, because tonight the moon will be conjunct these signs. Athena is currently in 21 degrees Aquarius and the sun is in 22 degrees Aquarius. So for the next 2 days or so, we'll really, and literally this new moon is highlighting this conjunction. So it's bringing a lot of emotional feeling and charge into illuminating, you know, how are you a crusader for a cause or a warrior for a cause? And typically when these two come together, it's very non-violent and non-authoritarian. So there's a lot of sovereignty and a lot of peace involved in the way that the Sun and Palace come together, the Sun and Athena come together to help illuminate change. Change that sometimes could be radical, sometimes not so radical, but I have some examples of some people who have this Sun and Athena conjunction. So let me just name some of them, because it's fascinating. John Lennon, and just think when you think of these people I'm about to name, how they were their own type of warrior and what was the cause, like what motivated their message, because each one of these people has a pretty strong signature of illuminating change, being this person who leads the way. So John Lennon, let's see what we got. John Lennon, Bill O'Reilly, Madonna, Julia Child, Anderson Cooper, Napoleon Bonaparte. I don't mean to say that all of the causes were necessarily peaceful always, but most of these people, Abraham Lincoln, Al Gore, Percy Bysshe Shelley, Ron Paul, Rudy Giuliani, Bill Maher, Bruce Springsteen. So all of these people were born with Sun conjunct Pallas Athena. So if any of these people, you know, any of these people are inspiring for you, think about how you can embody your strength and illuminate something that you think is really important. Happy new moon. I hope that this helps. I hope this was kind of interesting, and I will see you guys in the next video.